Hi, I miss you. How is everybody? Oh, some people are back. So I did my live for my Patreon subscribers this morning, and I'm seeing some people back here again. I miss you. So I unplugged for several days. Um, I went just spent Christmas with a cousin and his family in Sacramento. I was with my mom, and I haven't actually seen him in a week, like in not a week, but like a decade, more than a decade. So it was a much needed time to with family, and also I got to think about things. As I've said, I unplugged. So I was just able to reflect on 2024, what I really wanted to do, and what I wanted to do for 2025 and for the rest of my life. So it was a good several days away from the computer, away from the internet. Really appreciated it. And I appreciate the fact that it was like I actually could do something like that. But let me say hi to everybody: Cat Tiger, JR, Monimu, Cyan, Erica, Kat, Pink Crystal. Hi. Pink Crystal, it's already December 31 there, right? Leah, Sus, Marie, Carmi, Beth, Ophelia, Chris, Tracy, the Bio Explorer, Crystal, Janine. I don't know if I said hi to Ophelia, but hi again. Sus, Beth, Amy, HHK, Darren, the Bio Explorer, Pamela, Liz, Bang Luna, Tracy, Angel Star, Beth. Oh, suddenly so many. Elaine. Wait. Okay. Oh, there's a lot. So I don't know if I can say hi to everybody, like mention everybody's name, but Cindy, Chrissy, Marina, Gil or Hill, Kez, Rosie's Splendor, Rose Splendor, Danji, I Pablo, Dawn Schelling, Darlene, I love you so much. Canohane, hand painted paints, Celeste, hand painted paints. I've been waiting for your link for your store. Richie, Borowinkle, Friends Slang, 68. Cece, Helena, Turtles, Rachel, Tracy, Nikon, Maria, Sethariel, Patty, Lindsay, Monimu, oh my God, there's a lot of you. Jane, Anita, Mickey, um, a hand painted paint said, "Oh, you messaged me on X. Maybe you got into the so in X when you message somebody for the first time, they kind of put you in this bucket where it's not visible to me right away. So I will check that. Chelsea, Kathleen, Janine, Cheryl, Patty, Shirtas, Floyd, Namhar, Mickey, Chrissy, Anita, Juveline, June. Oh, I think I mentioned everybody. Shane Yor, Brelin, Sam L. Were you able to sleep, Sam? I know that you were up late. Belinda, Saskia. So it has been, how has been your 2024? How has your 2024 been? And is anyone actually doing like a resolution for 2025 or a goal? If you're setting a goal for 2025, is there anyone here sad and busy? 2024 was sad and busy. Busy is good, and you just need, if you kind of don't have a choice but to sort of learn from the sadness and see, but why was your 2024 sad is the question. Diana, hello. Traumatic. 2024 was traumatic. Okay, you said loss, so I'm gonna assume that that was like a light trauma. Brelin said 2025 goal is to be happy and healthy. um, can I suggest peace? Just find peace in your heart. to go to the gym regularly and eat healthier in 2025. That is a good goal. I will support you. And I'm doing that as well. I actually, I was rearranging some things in the room just so I could go back into my walking pad. I bought a walking pad. I had to move it out because I moved to a smaller room when my mom joined me. I had to rearrange things just so I can bring it back in again so I can start walking. I spent a lot of time sitting down because of work, so which is not very healthy. 2024 was depressing, so my goal in 2025 is to be happy. That is a good goal. Um, Happiness, though, is a result, like it is the effect of something else. So for you to feel happiness, you're gonna have to, like, this is just a suggestion. You will have to look for like a purpose, and then the result of that will be happiness. Focus on my sleep. That is a good goal. Same, stay healthy and exercise and be busy. Okay, start working out again. That is a good goal. Oh, when you're not late, we're just starting out. I'm just asking for people's goal for 2025. What is yours? Same, stay healthy and exercise and be busy and continue to study Korean. Good goal. Peace to the whole world in 2025. That is going to happen. What is a walking pad? It's like treadmill. But this one, because it's like a slimmer version, it's not really designed for you to run on it. It's more for you to walk on it, like fast walking. So, because I can't really, when while I'm working, I can't really run, right? Because I'm working. But at least walking, I can do that. And walking is actually one of the best exercise, if not the best exercise you can have. So pursue my passions. What are your passions? I hope I get a job at the beginning of next year. Let's manifest. You will get a job. To try and keep more positive outlook on things and spread positivity. That is a good goal. I You have to, in the beginning, you're gonna have to make a conscious effort to look at the positive things, and then eventually it'll become a habit. And it can't be just situations, but on people too. So try to concentrate on the things that you like about them instead of concentrating on the things that you don't like about them. Prioritizing healthy living, sleep, mental health, fitness, and eating. Good goal. A little prayer for 179 people who perished in an awful accident. Yes, please. That was horrendous. I can't imagine being a relative of any of them. The reports aren't out yet. I've seen some discussions between engineers and pilots, but of course all of them are saying that everything that they were saying were just speculation because they weren't there, they're not seeing what happened. They're going to have to wait. We all will have to wait for the official statement and explanation. 2024 was a year that I achieved some of my lifelong wow and met BTS and became an army. So it was great. I'm praying for even more amazing 2025. Diana, can you give me one thing that you achieved in 2025? Hoping for good, healing, prosperous energy to our Bangtan men and to everybody. We are 6 months away. Are you all excited? I feel like as soon as January hits, I'm going to start losing my shit. Just trying to look forward to their return. But I am so excited. So, so, so excited. Get all my seniors across the graduation stage. You will do that by Explorer. You're a great teacher. That is going to happen. Um, 6 months, 5.5 months, correct. 5.5 months. I'm so ready for Bangtan. So am I. Just to keep healthy and work more on self growth. I pray 2025 is a great for all of us and for our Bangtan boys. A friend of mine actually had a good goal for 2025. It wasn't really a resolution, it's just more of a goal for him. He wants to try something new every month. Like whatever that new thing, maybe it can be pottery or painting or just hike or something. Like he wanted to just try something new, at least one new thing for 2025. That's his goal. He is turning 50. So he was like, oh, because all of his kids are now out of the house, they have graduated, they're living their own lives. And so he feels like maybe that is, the time for him to just learn more about himself. So he wants to discover if he has, if any of the things that he's going to be trying will end up being his passion that he can do for the rest of his life. So he was talking about how all he has ever been in the last 25 years is a father. And the work that he does because it affords him the kind of life that he provided for his family. It wasn't really his passion. It was like he enjoyed doing it, but it wasn't like something that he would want to die doing. so, so it's like he wants to find something that he will really enjoy and hopefully he can do for the rest of his life. So he wants to try that. He came up with a list and all, like, oh, maybe I'll try this and this and this. So his goal is pretty reasonable, one new thing a month. But with all the things that he wants to try, it can most likely he's gonna have to do like one a week, and he has the time to do it because he doesn't have any responsibilities anymore. All of his kids are out, he's just working, he has his 9 to 5. But then after that, like, he's free. So I think he's gonna end up doing more than one in a month. But I'm excited for him. So maybe that's something that you guys can pursue. My goal is to make money enough for a BTS concert. You can do that, Gail. You can absolutely do it. Decide on whether to retire and what to do next and travel to Korea. I know some of you are talking about, it's in the my Patreon community, in our Patreon community. You were talking about traveling to Korea in June to try and be there for their discharge. I am going to cheer on. I will cheer you up and cheer you on to do it. But just make sure, if you ever go to Korea during the summer, if you're not really good with the heat, if your body doesn't like the heat, make sure that you bring a mist fan, the handheld fan, and it's a mist because it's really, really humid. It's even worse than the Philippines. The last time I was there, which was this year, actually, when I was there, I was sick half the time. So I was there for almost a month, and literally half of that I was sick. So it was just a different kind of heat. And I had a handheld fan. I just didn't have a mist fan, which would have helped more if I had it. So make sure that you have that. It's the handheld fan that blows mist. You just need to carry water because, and then if you go into Amazon, there's a handheld mist fan. This is not sponsored, by the way, where it actually has extra batteries. But the one that I bought would last for the entire day and then some. So, but still having an extra battery would be good. So extra battery, it's a mist. It really looks like a fan, like a traditional electric fan, and then it blows mist. So that's better because it's really humid. And then what else? So I always had like well, water. Always bring water. uh Make sure that it is, if you can bring something with electrolytes, that's even better. um I really hate the stickiness in the skin when you're traveling. So I always had a like a wet tissue. So going out, going in, I would always wipe my butt because I just don't like the feeling of being sticky. So what else? Definitely bring an umbrella. The sun is going to be brutal, like absolutely brutal. So bring an umbrella. I had an umbrella that was like that I can attach to my head, so it actually frees. It freed both my hands. So I had an umbrella that I can attach to my head, and then I had the mist fan on one hand, so then I can use my other hand to do other things. So that's my tip if you're going there during the summer, and try to book an Airbnb or hotel that is really, really close to the subway, because you would want to minimize the walking. So try to do that. So what else? Yeah, I think those are the most important. It's just really brutal. The heat was brutal to my body. So make sure that you bring those things with you. Um, I'm sure they will be sent to the USA after the discharge from the military, and I want to travel to Korea in 2026. Um, I hope that they actually stay in Korea for after they get discharged, just to cool off, because I know that people are going to want to have a piece of BTS, and that's not something that we want. We want them to, we know that they're itching to go back to doing music, so that's what we want them to be able to do. um, so I do hope that they stay in the US for a while, and I hope they stay around here so that I can see them. I mean, I'm pretty sure that they're gonna go to Koreatown, right? I mean, they're Koreans. They're gonna need some Korean stuff, and they're gonna come here, and I will see them, and I will run away. All right. So many things I wanted to do in 2025. First on the list is to get tickets to J Hope's concert. We will all see each other in J Hope's concert. Please try to go to the US leg of his tour so that I can meet some of you. Don't I can't promise. They'll be for sure. I mean, for sure, they're going to be in my neighborhood. The last time they were here, they weren't as close as J Hope was when he stayed here, but they were pretty much in the same like area that I'm in. I learned about that after they left, because the place where they stayed in, I can't say much, but the place that they stayed in um, is in the real estate business and whatever. So I learned, oh, that's where they stayed, but it's not as close as J Hope was, but still pretty close. We need to arrange a meeting. In fact, we definitely need to do a meetup if J Hope does a concert. I want to meet some of you. Okay, so I'm sure that you've heard some of the things that have been happening in on Twitter, things that are being talked about as outside of the tragic crash, the tragic plane crash. But um, one of the things that actually hit the headlines was, what do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about the stock market or what they're doing to BTS? Okay, let me see. Happy Stan. Hi, Happy Stan. Let's talk about the Busan one first. BTS. We're going to talk about BTS. Okay. So I'm pretty sure that um you've heard about some media companies reporting about the Busan concert, that, as you know, that this was a part of their bid. They helped the government in their bid, the Busan government in particular, in their bid to host the World Expo, and they lost the bid. I mean, Busan lost the bid. Um, but there are now some new informations that are coming out, some old information as well, but there are also some new information coming out, specifically in relation to Yoon Suk Yeol, which is the president that was impeached. This is the president that declared martial law, and he was then impeached. Right now there is a warrant of arrest issued because he has not left. Well, they're holding him now criminally accountable for what he did. So there is a warrant of arrest, a warrant for his arrest. So now, while all of this is happening, some media companies are reporting some new information about what really transpired in the yet to come Busan concert and BTS's involvement in the bid to host the next World Expo. Okay, so just to give you, for those who, I'm sure that many of you already know what happened during that bid. But just a quick rundown so that the narrative is sort of complete. As soon as they were announced as ambassadors for the World Expo 2030 Busan, it was a mix of confusion and displeasure and excitement among BTS armies, both Korean and international armies. Primarily because we were already aware they were going to go on a hiatus. They already announced that they were going to concentrate on individual activities, and it was apparent that Jin was going to enlist already because his time was running out. So it was confusing for a lot of people. Like, why are they going to do? Why are they going to commit to this if they are going to serve? Um, and then a lot of people were not happy. Some armies weren't happy because they felt that this is a politically motivated move in the part of the government to try and get BTS involved in the bid. Uh, as you know, BTS was actually an ambassador. They did some work for the previous government for Korea, basically, when the previous government requested their assistance. Okay, so one of the awkward moments in this entire thing was during the announcement that they were going to be the ambassadors for the World Expo. This picture sort of captures what happened. They were Their hand was being forced to be raised by the officials, and these officials are government officials, so they run for office. So when they shake their hand, they would force the hand of the BTS members to raise and then take a picture. And that is, as you know, that's sort of a sign that you are endorsing somebody for a political position. So they did that to every member, and they did that no matter how awkward the pose was, no matter how awkward the thing, because it's awkward, right? Like, he was just simply shaking, RM was just shaking the hand of the official, and then the official was just like, I'm going to raise your hand. So it was odd, and they did that to every member. And this is the V on the side. Excuse me. This was even more awkward because I think he was pulled to the side just to do this pose, and V was like, what the hell is happening? Like, this is not part of the orientation, we weren't supposed to do it. But anyway, so it was very clear from the beginning that they were trying to associate BTS to them again. So there, that was the for Korean army specifically, it was like they are being used for political purposes. Many Korean armies weren't happy about it. Now, so anyway, the thing went on, and then they eventually announced that BTS was going to do a free concert as part of their bid for the World Expo. The first controversy transpired when fans in Korea complained about the venue because it was going to be a makeshift stage on the side of the ocean. And people were like, what are you talking about? Like, this venue is so isolated from like civilization. There is no buses, there's no, where are the restrooms? Like, this is not, and then it's not paved, so if it rains, it's going to, there's so many concerns. So to appease the people, and the complaints were legit because they are correct, everything that they said was correct. It was really isolated, the area was isolated, there were no transportation, so the local government will have to arrange that. And there's going to be, like, if it's going to be an open venue, it's going to be exterior venue, you're talking hundreds of thousands of people. And we've seen armies swarm a venue, and considering this is going to be their last for a long time, then most likely there's going to be like hundreds of thousands of people that will show up. Even if they don't have the tickets, they're going to have to anticipate that. So Big Hit took over, and they moved the concert to an indoor venue in Busan. Now, the venue wasn't complete yet. So Big Hit had to shoulder the cost of some of the repairs just so they can prepare the venue, and make sure that it's ready for people to use. Now, the other thing that was settled Big Hit was going to move it to another venue. And then another thing came up, and that was the expenses for the BTS concert in Busan. Now, they apparently, the Busan government sent out sponsorship emails to different private companies. So essentially, they're saying that if you want to sponsor the concert, please get in touch with Big Hit. What was odd is that Big Hit did not know about it. So when brands and corporations and companies and businesses started calling because they were interested in sponsoring the event, Big Hit didn't know anything about it. There was like, we did not talk about that. So I don't know anything about that. Um, so now Big Hit released a statement about to settle all of these things. And they said, and this is an article published in Korean Jejong, I think, Enemy, sorry. A significant portion of the cost of the yet to come concert will be covered by corporate sponsorships, but that was a corporate sponsorship being handled by Big Hit, not by the government. Online streaming advertisements, and the city committed to subsidize it. So they were going to pay for some of it, not all of it. And HYBE additionally stated that it was decided that HYBE will personally cover for the remaining expenses that cannot be covered by these measures. And they're saying that because it's BTS we're talking about, there are certain requirements for the level of performance that they want to perform. They didn't want, one of the things that they also said is that they don't want BTS won't compromise the quality of their stage. So it's going to be inevitable that the concert is going to be more expensive than the usual because they have some requirements that are not common if you're not as big as BTS. So Big Hit just said, Hybe just stated, we're just going to pay for everything, whatever it is that the corporate sponsorship won't be covering, that the online streaming advertisement won't be covering, and what the city can, whatever amount the city can give, we're just going to cover that. Now, they also emphasized that BTS is not going to be paid for the performance. So this is part of their ambassadorship, and also because BTS has always been very open about their goal to actually have a free concert for BTS armies. So they were like, it's okay. We're not going to get paid for this. We're just going to do it because this is one thing on our list, on our bucket list. And Hybe also added that they wanted to be careful about the financial stuff because they don't want the taxpayers to be burdened with this concert. They are conscious of the fact that whatever money is going to be used by the government, it's going to come from taxpayers. And it was like, nah, with all the controversies that BTS is facing, people are going to look for anything and everything they can throw BTS's way. So they were like, we want to be very, very careful. They said that they know that the government, the Expo committee, is doing their best to provide a concert venue and finance the concert within a limited budget. So they said, we're just going, whatever it is that they can cover, we'll cover it. Okay. After that, there were discussions. As you know, it's BTS, so people are going to try and bring them down. So some people started complaining that why is their taxes being used for this and whatever. And so the committee and the government of Busan released a statement saying they're not going to be paying, actually, that the entire concert actually costs 7 billion won, but they're not going to pay a dime. So they won't shoulder any part of the concert. Okay. Now, this is the most interesting part. As if that is not like, all right, BTS is rich, Hybe is rich. Okay, let's just move on. They've always wanted to offer a free concert. They're doing it now. This is a decision that they've made. Let's respect that. But then, now the exemption talk has been revived. So people are now wondering, that how are they going to pull this off? How is BTS going to pull off this ambassadorship for the World Expo if they need to enlist? Because Jin has to enlist, and BTS has been adamant that if one of them is missing, they're not going to be BTS. They won't be promoting as BTS. It's one thing to have one member who is injured or sick and they're committed to perform in a center. But if by choice, if one member is serving, they're not going to be performing. Plus, they already announced that they're going to go on hiatus to do individual activities. Now we know that those individual activities actually led to the enlistment of the entire group. Anyway, okay. So suddenly they were reviving the talk about exemption, an exemption that BTS never asked for. So the mayor of Busan started saying that that there is a possibility for them to not serve if they're just going to continue being ambassadors of the Busan bid for the World Expo. If BTS agrees to serve as the ambassador and aggressively promote, then they don't have to serve. And he was actually going to the president to sort of ask him to give them that exemption. Okay. Um, Mayor Park proposed that the global K-pop stars instead of serves as a public relations ambassador for Busan's bid to host the World Expo in 2030, expecting an aggressive promotional drive from BTS. From BTS would give the city a leg up, according to Yonhap. Now, there are countries that actually express their support. Czech Republic is actually one of them. So they said that if BTS is involved, we're going to vote for you. They told Korea, if BTS is involved, we're going to vote for you if you're going to allow BTS to come to Czech Republic. Mexico said the same thing. I can't find the article now, but Mexico said the same thing, and several other countries. They all said if you allow BTS to come to our country, then we're going to support you. We're going to vote for you. BTS nonetheless enlisted. So during all of these talks about, and this was chaotic AF, but it was like people were saying, of course, while they were all talking about, mind you, BTS has always been very, very um Bio Explorer, check the chat. I'm not frozen. I'm like, check the chat. Why? What am I looking at? The Bio Explorer. Oh, a rubbed bunny. Woohoo. Uh, I think I see it. Okay. Okay. I think she's gone. Just one? Is it just one? Okay. So she should be hidden. She should be hidden now. I'm assuming that it's a she, could be a he. Okay, so um going back into my rhythm. So BTS during this time it was really chaotic. So people were talking about getting exemption. Um, Politicians were pushing for an exemption. The military said no, they were not going to change the rules. They will have to serve. And all this time, BTS has always been very, very clear about the fact that they were going to serve. Okay, so and they've been clear about that from the beginning. Jin said that they were once they are called, they are going to serve, and once they even Suga included it in his rap that they are going to serve, as if that those are not enough. People continued talking about the possibility of them getting exempted. So when the Busan mayor started talking about getting BTS an exemption or an alternative way of serving if BTS actually agrees to become envoys of the government, they are going to do an alternative service. BTS still serve. So BTS still serve. Um, and they were disappointed. The committee of the World Expo, Busan Mayor, and other officials said that they were disappointed that BTS decided to serve, as if it's not a mandatory service. Like, like you don't have the right to serve, the right to be disappointed because your freaking country actually requires it. So, like, what do you want BTS to do? You require every able bodied man to serve. So they are able-bodied. So they are serving. So this was like this statement was actually this statement was actually far worse than how they wrote it. But he was really going around talking to different media personalities about how disappointed he was about how this is going to affect the bid of Busan for the World Expo, and how they could have given them an alternative way to serve. Like, it's not going to be an exemption. They were still going to serve, but they did not wait. Okay. Now, while so Jin already announced his enlistment, and then the different officials of the government released another statement. Sorry, not the different officials of the government, but the military itself released a statement saying they can perform. Like, BTS can still perform even while they are serving. If, for example, the government calls them for something, we can give them a pass so that they can rehearse and perform and then just come back to the service. So yeah, like a slave. Yeah, sure, do that to BTS. Anyway, so they're floating these ideas and sort of distributing this to different media companies outside of Korea, not just within Korea, but outside of Korea. Now, when the bid failed, the former president, the one that was impeached, sort of expressed his regret, saying that it was his fault because it was ill prepared. And then they were floating the idea that the failure was because BTS did not consistently promote for it. Okay. Um, Now, as if that's not enough, the government made another error, screwed up the jamboree. I don't know if you know what happened, but a lot of Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts that went to Korea for the Jamboree actually ended up in the hospital because they provided them with tents during the summer outside with no proper ventilation, no not enough restrooms and toilets. So a lot of people actually ended up just going home, others ended up in the hospital. And so to save the event, because the South Korea was getting criticized left and right internationally, and they thought, oh, maybe to save face, why don't we ask BTS to perform? They were already serving at this time. So at least half of them were serving. And they were trying to recall the members that were serving so that they can rehearse together and perform in the closing ceremony. In the end, Big Hit said, nope, BTS is not going to perform. However, we're going to send them photo cards. Okay, so as the news really said, however, it has now been confirmed that BTS won't perform at the World Scout Jamboree Korea concert. Ever since the news broke out, BTS fans had criticized the lawmakers for trying to pull BTS members from their military service, as if BTS owes them their life, that they can just do whatever it is that they can ask BTS to do whatever it is that they want. Okay, now fast forward to now. So that is all done. BTS, as you know, they're all serving. Two of the members are already done with their service. And we are now just excited and waiting for June to come so that they can reunite. I'm sure that, like me, many of you don't really care whether they do a concert in 2025, 2026, 2027. We just want them together. Okay. Now, all of these things are starting to come out. That one, the cost of the concert is actually 7 billion won, 5.25 million, and apparently all of those has been shouldered by Big Hit or Hybe. And that has always been the case. As I've said in the previous slides that I showed you, they've been open about the fact, the South Korean government and the Busan government and the committee were open about the fact that they were not going to pay any amount. They weren't going to shoulder any of those things. And that everything was going to be shouldered by HYBE through sponsorships, through streaming income. Um, and then the rest, they were just going to pay for it. But what was not known was that what was not known was that there was an actual budget for this entire thing. It's not that it everyone knows that they were going to pay, but nobody knew that there was an actual budget allotted to this thing. So where did it go? Okay. So this new articles and the new pieces coming out of Korean media is that the administration didn't give Big Hit what they were supposed to contribute, leaving Big Hit or Hybe to shoulder the full cost of the concert. It's like a given that BTS members weren't going to be paid for performing, but they were supposed to contribute some amount to it, not everything, but some amount to it. But that didn't happen. I guess they shouldered the venue, the cost of the venue. Hopefully BTS didn't have, or Big Hit didn't have to pay for the venue, but other than that they did not contribute anything. Now this is a tweet coming from that account. I'm sure she doesn't mind that I'm showing her account because her account is public. So um, the one thing that has been going around for a while now is that this current government, the government of the president that was just impeached, is that they feel that BTS actually owes them something because BTS did some things for the previous government. Okay. Now, let's just be clear that BTS was called by the previous administration to become dignitaries, to actually attend the United Nations event. So they were given the passports and they were asked to perform. All of those were a request from the current government, from that previous government. Now, the current government, the one that was just impeached, the president that was impeached, felt like, well, you did things for them, you have to do things for us too. But they did things. BTS did things for the current government. They were ambassadors for the Busan World Expo bid, and then they were also ambassador of tourism for Seoul, Korea. So they serve. Like if the country needs them, they are there. So it's not like they are rejecting the current president. They're not like It's not like they were saying no. They are there when they are called. There was a lot of talk about not attending the inauguration. So this was an entire thing as well, because there were talks about BTS rejecting the invitation to attend the inauguration. Um, so this is the diplomatic passport. So apparently what happened is that when Yoon Suk Yeol won the presidency, he was interviewed as to how he wants to do the inauguration and whether or not he was going to invite BTS. And then he said, "Yep, we are discussing whether or not they are going to be invited, but it's on the plate, basically. It's on the table. We are going to discuss whether we're going to invite them or not." But when his people, the people that were organizing the inauguration, were interviewed, they said we're not talking about it. So they weren't consistent with their statement. So there were talks about they were actually invited, that BTS was actually invited, but BTS rejected, and they're trying to save face by saying that they're not actually inviting BTS. However, Big Hit themselves said that they did not actually get any kind of invitation. That's what Big Hit said. They said we didn't get the invitation. We learned about them getting invited through the media, but we did not get any kind of invitation. In the end, BTS did not perform in the inauguration, and the staff of the of Yoon Suk Yeol said it was because Yoon Suk Yeol wanted a simpler inauguration and opted to invite children and young performers instead of a superstar like BTS. But that's a settled matter. Okay. Okay. So in summary, BTS served the previous administration when they were called, just like they did with the Yoon Suk Yeol administration. As I've said, they were asked to become ambassadors of tourism for South for Seoul. They did that. When they were called to become ambassadors for the Busan World Expo, they did that. And from the very beginning, second, BTS has always been very clear that they were going to serve the military. It was in their song. They've said it many, many times. They said they were going to serve. All this talk about them getting exempted, it never came from them. Third, their name still got dragged on talks of possible exemptions even after they themselves said they were going to serve. Fourth, they served the Yoon Suk Yeol administration when they were called, and then they served the military. So they did their part. It's just that there is a mandatory military service required of all Korean able bodied men. And they are one of that. Okay. Now, the cost of the concert, number five, the cost of the concert has always been known. Everyone knew about the 7 billion won cost, 5.25 million. What was not clear, and it has always been clear that the Expo committee and the Busan government wasn't going to pay for a dime. I think their contribution was the venue, and that was about it. What was not known was that there is an actual budget and no one knows how it was going to, no one knows where the budget went. So now the question is, why are they talking about this now? That's what a lot of people are questioning. Like, it has been 2 years. They are now serving the military. They're almost done with their service. So many things have already happened. Jin had already had his very successful comeback. J Hope is already preparing for his solo album and the tour manifesting in 2025. And then they're going to come together again in 2025. We don't care whether they're going to do a tour in 2025 or 2026 or 2027. So all of these things happened. Why are they talking about this now? My initial gut is that they wanted to castigate Yoon Suk Yeol. This is the president that was impeached. I think they wanted to use that to further strengthen their case against Yoon Suk Yeol, knowing that once you mention the name of BTS, people are going to pay attention. And when I mean people, it's not just Koreans, but also international media. And that's what's happening. Now people sort of learned that Big Hit and Hybe sort of paid for everything, that BTS didn't get paid for doing the concert, but someone pocketed the money. That was my initial talk. And then someone on Twitter told me, what if they're just trying to drag BTS into this controversy? That this is just a first step. And then something, because they're preparing for what J Hope is going to do in 2025. So they're kind of warming it up, trying to associate BTS into the government of Yoon Suk Yeol. And then eventually they're going to say something to spoil the comeback of J Hope. I have absolutely, like, I can't fathom that possibility, but I guess it is possible. But I can't, like, what can you do and say with this kind? I mean, people already said that BTS shouldered everything, that HYBE and Big Hit shouldered the entire concert. They served the government and they served the military, fulfilling everything right down to a T. So what else could you possibly be asking from them? What angle can you play to make it appear as if they are involved in this government in any way, shape, or form that could be perceived as a bad thing? I mean, it is natural if you are a citizen of a country to be called to serve your country. I mean, that's just a natural thing. If my home country, the Philippines, call me to serve, I will try my very best to help because that's my country, and that's what they have done. And they have, I think, proven that they are going to go, they're going to do more than what they have been called to do. So I can't fathom that angle. But some people are just saying that no, like some people feel that this is just like a suspicious kind of timing. Why do this? Why release all of this information 2 years after the fact? Um, okay, right. We already were told they incurred all expenses. Yes, we already know that. So it's just that they're saying that there was supposed to be a budget. There is an allotted budget for the concert, and it was pocketed by the current president, by the impeached president. If there is a way for BTS and HYBE to look bad, they will find a way to do it. I guess you're right. It's just that I can't like I are they going to say that no, like the budget was actually given to be to Big Hit or to Hype or something? I just can't. They know when BTS comes back, their crap won't fly. That I think is a given. Like I think people already know that once BTS is back, they're really um all attention is going to be on them for sure. And the media, especially the international media, really won't have any uh they won't have Jacqueline, thank you. Thank you so much. um I can't once they are back, I don't think international media will be paying any attention to any of this BS because they're just going to be so busy covering BTS. And with how BTS is, I mean, I'm sure they're going to be like releasing one content after the other that is just going to be close to impossible to keep up. I don't think they're going to like allow anybody to breathe. They're just going to continuously release um content that the international media will just have enough time to catch up with BTS. So um, you're thinking logically, that's why you can't fathom. Whatever it is, it'll be nonsense. Well, you're right. You're right as well. My misunderstanding, it seems like these articles are on BTS. Okay, it seems that it is they are on BTS side, showing that they go above and beyond. That was my first instinct. Well, it's not really about BTS. I felt in my initial instinct was that they're using BTS to further nail Yoon Suk Yeol, the impeached president. So they were like, because they know that mentioning the name of BTS is going to catch the attention of the media. So I felt like, oh, they wanted something against Yoon Suk Yeol, so they're adding this to the list. That was the first thing that came into my mind. Oh, the Bio Explorer is saying this is interesting. It doesn't have to be true. They will say HYBE attempted to buy their exemption with Busan. That could be true as well. They will be um the full focus will be BTS, correct? I'm the in the US, I guess what you're saying, you're more likely to be canceled for supporting political figures. That is true. Some there will certain political figures. I mean, this the current election that we had, like we had a lot of celebrities endorsing a political candidate on either side. So wasn't Hani visa ending 29th? Does anyone know what happened with that? Well, I think she's going to be okay. For one, I think if she runs out of options, she can always sign the document that was being prepared by by Adore. They said that in their point of view, they are still under contract with Adore, so they are preparing the extension. And then I've discussed the other option that she can pursue, and that is to do an investor's visa if she's willing to sort of just freeze her money in South Korea for 5 years, then she can get an investor's visa, and that will allow her to do any kind of economic activity, including performing. So, The troll has reincarnated. Who's the troll? Can't wait for them to come back and we will all support them. I hope they don't do a damn thing for the government. They probably will, but I hope they don't. The weirdos who consult shamans, such as the former First Lady of SK, and that which seen to see BTS as a threat. I agree. I think it's more about the impeachment. Okay. Adore is taking care of the visa issue. Also, are they planting seeds for later? Um, that's what other people are saying. Like this is a setup for something else. And the Bio Explorer said that it could be they're going to say that that Big Hit tried to buy the exemption for BTS. Um, Phaedra said, I think the Hani thing really just was a way to keep the news going, but it felt flat. Honestly, canceling in the West does nothing majority of the time. True. It really is. It only happens in Twitter. It's just on Twitter, like, oh, she's canceled. It's just a word, but it doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't have any implication on people's job or people's work, or, I mean, I guess it affected. No, okay, let me correct. I know that for ordinary people, um, you can get fired from your job, which is I blocked her already. Ciao ciao. Um, I blocked her already, so you shouldn't be seeing whatever it is. She can still see what you are saying, but you won't see hers. So I guess there were some people I know, going back to the cancellation thing. I think it works if you're an ordinary citizen, because you if a campaign is done against you, you can get fired from your job, and there have been some people who have gotten fired from their job, and that is a big hit. Like that has a huge impact on somebody losing your income. I mean, losing your job. But then if you're a very established personality, it doesn't really affect you. If at all, it's going to actually set you free. It's going to give you much more creative freedom. Like if you look at Dave Chappelle, he was canceled. He's doing fine. If you look at J.K. Rowling, she's doing fine. Studios are still working with her. Her main thing, like the novel and everything that any other IP that came from that, it's still being used by uh, like Harry Potter. Sorry, I did not mention the name, like of the novel. That those things are still pushing through. So I guess if you're a very established person, the best thing that can happen to you is actually get canceled, because it's going to give you way more creative freedom. Because it's like, I've already been canceled. What's the worst that can happen, right? Um, but if you are an ordinary person, it can hit you bad. Like that can have an effect on you. But also, if you know how to recover from it, if you are strategic enough, and you get fired from your job, you start something else, you can still recover. I think the government need to know that the money BTS will bring in will explode for the country. Yoongi will be just fine. He's strong and has the support of the members and us. True. J.K. Rowling is depressing. Patty, I think so, because of ignorant people. Yes, cancel doesn't really mean anything, just a moment of negative attention. Negative, yeah, I guess, yeah, you're right. It's a just a moment of negative attention, and it's all up to you on how you can and how you will use that. Uh, I mean, yeah. So it doesn't. It's just on Twitter. It's just a word, really. Um, Does SK have laws for slander and libel? Yes, they do. They do. The creature has returned twice under another name. I have no doubt it's determined to be as annoying as possible. Just block her. Just call my attention. My moderator is not here today for some reason. So if you see her, just block her and you can call my attention so I can silence her. Wasn't Jimin's dad involved in this also? In what? The way they are treating Suga is disgusting. They have forgiven and forgotten a lot worse things than what Suga did. It makes me so mad and sad for Suga. Um, I think it only those things that they are doing to Suga, it only has an impact on people that already don't like Suga or BTS for that matter. But for people who are fans of Suga, those things don't matter to us. I mean, especially in the West, we don't care about these things. Honestly, we really don't. So if Suga goes on another tour, it's still going to be sold out. I just hope that he puts it in his thick head to actually do a stadium concert instead of an arena concert this time. Um, but yeah, these things that it does not affect us at all. I think we are powerful. We are powerful because we have positive energy, and that is why we recognize the sincerity and kindness of BTS. Together we can thrive and overcome. I absolutely agree. Now let's go to the other thing that we are supposed to discuss. As I said, Henny and Mama Roach meddling and trying to bring down HYBE was blown up in their face because HYBE has been mentioned by the government as one of the best companies to work for. Suga will have stacks and stacks of material, this song's included. He has so much free time. Um, Sam L said, so proud of Army for making Billboard Korea apologize for editing Yoongi out on their IG post. Yes, and I think it is correct that so yeah, I just so Hybe was actually named one of the best companies in Korea, and they sort of said in their statement that the bullying is actually a non-issue. Number one, she's not an employee, and second, like there's no material evidence to prove the allegations. That's what they said basically. So let's talk about another thing. 2024, what a year, huh? So let's talk about HYBE, SMJYP, and SM stocks. So there, it has been bad for this is their stocks year to date. Okay, so for HYBE, they are down 19.92. So year to date would be the beginning of the year to today. So I generated the screenshots just several, probably an hour just before I went live. So HYBE started the year at about 250, right around that. Um, Adesha said Suga will bounce right back. If they try to harass him, BTS will not promote their albums in Korea. They have a much bigger international audience. They go to USA. I absolutely agree. They should make USA their home for selfish reasons because I'm here. That is why I'm saying it. Someone actually, before I continue discussing this, someone actually sent me a hate message saying that I am framing US to be an ideal country. And like, and here are Americans complaining to me that I always knock on America. It's like I don't know what to do. All right, okay, going back. So everyone is down year to date. So HYBE is down almost 20%, 19.92% year to date. SM is down 18.79% year to date. JYP is down 31%, 31.07% year to date. And then YG is down 3.68 year to date. Now, you also have to take into consideration the actual amount. um Sam L is saying that Fairly, I will visit you if BTS members move to the States. Okay, so this is kind of bad for everybody, but especially bad for JYP. It's 31%. So aside from the percentage, you also need to look at the actual amount. So HYBE, I'm sorry, I actually messed up. Like I covered HYBE, but they are currently at 193, and they started the year at about 248 or something like that. And then JYP is currently at 69, but they started at about 100. YG Entertainment started at about 48 or 49 or something like that, and they're currently at 45. And then SM started the year at about 92 and they are currently at 75. Okay, so you have to look at both the percentage and also the actual amount on how much they fell for this year. Now, many people are asking, is this an effect of Mama Roach on what she's doing? Are investors scared of investing in South Korean entertainment industry because of her? And because of what old pants are or old shorts are doing. Now, I will say that it is a part of it. It's very, very nerve wracking to put your money being an investor myself and having my own business. I definitely don't want to put my money in a country or in an industry that is not protected. I want my money protected. Okay. So the according to this is a quote from Howard Schultz, who is the former CEO of Starbucks. He said the instability means that the rules can change overnight, right? So if things aren't stable, if things aren't consistent, it means that however I set up my business now and the foundation that I will be laying down based on those rules can change anytime. You can't plan for success when the ground keeps shifting beneath you. So if you have a disturbance like this one, like this woman, it is natural. And then, and there is no consequence for what she's doing. It's scary for an investor. Like, wait a minute, I don't think um, I will want to put my money in a country that is just allowing people like this to get away with what they want and screw up my business, right? I know that a lot of you don't like it when an investor or a businessman talks like this, but like a business person talks like this, but it is reality. If I'm putting my money in there, it better be protected, right? So, however, somebody like her isn't that powerful. Somebody like her won't be able to just bring down an entire industry. You're giving her way too much credit for something like this. Like, imagine tanking a company, an established company, 31%, 19%, 18%, 3%. That's a big thing to do. Somebody like her uh, doesn't have that much power and brains to do it. The truth is that you have to look at the market from a wider perspective or a wider point of view. The South Korean market, one thing that you always need to remember is that the South Korean market tracks the US market. Why? Because of certain things like trade relations, financial market connectivity, USD being the reserve currency. The US dollar is the biggest reserve currency in the world. Strategic alliance, foreign investors, herding behavior, and investor sentiment. Okay, so the South Korean government, the South Korean market is so connected with the the U.S. market. So in trade relations, South Korea heavily relies on exports to the U.S. We are one of their biggest markets when it comes to the products that they exports, and that in the products that they export, and that includes cars, cell phones, um, chips, many other things. The US, that this is a big business for them. So whatever happens here, if we stop buying, if people stop investing or whatever, it affects them because they're shipping their products to us. There is also the financial market connectivity. The U It's a globalized economy, so stock markets are highly connected. The US stock market, especially indices like S&P 500 and Nasdaq, serve as a benchmark for global markets. So if S&P 500 or Nasdaq are actually going up, international investors feel so confident that things are okay in the US, they're going to put in more money. Um, USD as a reserve currency, I'm sure that you know this already, but the US dollar is the reserve currency. The biggest reserve, it's not the only one, but it is the biggest reserve currency in the world. So whatever happens to the dollar is going to affect everybody because countries have a lot of dollars. They save, they own a lot of dollars. So if the value of the US dollar goes down, then their reserve goes down. And there is strategic alliances. As you know, the US provides support to South Korea, and that's why North Korea can't do anything against them, because we have bombs and a lot of firepower. Okay. And then foreign investors, global fund managers adjust their portfolio based on the US market movements. By the way, I'm not being like arrogant about the fact that the US dollar is the reserve currency in the world. It's just a fact. I don't think it should be the reserve currency in the world, but it is a reserve currency in the world. So I'm just stating a fact. Okay. So the foreign investors play a substantial role in the South Korean stock market. Many American investors are actually investing in US stocks, sorry, in South Korean stocks. Herding behavior. Investors often follow trends in major global markets. So if people start pulling out, they're going to start pulling out. And this Warren Buffett, for example, started selling his Apple stocks, people started selling their Apple stocks. And then the investor sentiment, when the US stock market rises, it signals a risk on environment. Meaning, if stock market goes up, people feel that, oh, okay, things are going to be okay, then I am also going to invest. So now the question is the thing that's happening with HYBE, YG, um, JYP, and SM, is this an effect of the US economy and the US stock market? Sort of, because as you can see, the three biggest music labels in the US as well, they're not doing too well, except for Sony. But for Warner Music, they're actually down year to date, 1.54%. Am I right? Yes. So, and then Universal Music is also down 3%. Sony is up, but not by much. It's only 1%. So this, which we may consider to be the counterpart, it's not really, but the closest counterpart of SMYG, JYP, and HYBE, they're also not doing well. So there is some consistency in there. There is still some truth to the fact that the South Korean market follows the US market. Okay, why? Now the question is, why is this happening? Um, Political challenges in Korea is affecting the confidence of investors. Their president declared freaking martial law. It's not a very, as I've mentioned in the beginning, investors want their money to be safe. And martial law is not a very safe place for my money to go to. So if you're going to do that, I think I'm just going to start pulling out. And then there's the impeachment of that president, right? So they are trying to impeach. Well, they already impeached him, and then the acting president was also impeached. So these things are not very assuring to me if I'm going to invest my money. Again, why will I put my money in an industry or a country that is not stable? This is a quote from Richard Quest, who is a CNN business anchor. He said, investors have a simple rule. Money flows where it is safest, not necessarily where it is needed the most. Okay, remember that. I would rather, me personally, and other investors and other business people, they would rather invest their money in a country or an industry that is safe, because I know I can predict things, I can strategize, I can anticipate. I don't really, even if I know that there is a lot of market potential in another country, if that country is not stable, then I am not going to invest, even though I know there's a lot of opportunities there. In fact, entertainment companies in South Korea aren't the only ones that are down year to date. Samsung is down 33%. Imagine that. One of the biggest, probably the biggest company in South Korea, Samsung is down 33% year to date. Honda is down year to date 7.44%. LG, also a big company in South Korea, down 18.98%. And then Naver, their Google equivalent of Google, is down 12.57%. So this is not an isolated thing in the music industry, it's an industry wide thing. And when I say industry, I mean the stock market industry in South Korea. Everyone well, almost everyone is actually going down. The country is in a political chaos, and money will not be stable there. Also, do consider that at the end of the year, certain investors actually do certain things that will benefit them. For example, tax loss harvesting. Is there anybody who knows anything about this? Is there anybody who uses this for their taxes at the end of the year? 33% is a lot. It is a lot. That's a crash. Like, that's a technical crash. Um, what is so do you know what a tax loss harvesting is? Tax loss harvesting is when you make an investment and you lost money, that will actually be a tax write-off. So you can get refund from the government because you lost on an investment. You lost on an investment. So for example, I invested, this is just an example. I invested $1 million in Apple, just as an example. And then at the end of the year, I liquidate that investment, and it's now down to 750,000. The 250,000, part of that I can get back. So that's called tax loss harvesting. The government sort of refunds you what you lost. So some people are actually using that so that they can harvest their taxes. So they know that the taxes are down or the stocks are down, so they're going to liquidate so that they can, when they file their taxes, they can get some money back from the government. It's also a thin trading volume season, meaning there's not a lot of people buying and selling because it's the holidays. So when that happens, of course, the market slows down, prices don't go up. We call that the thin trading volume season. And some people are just taking profits. So if, for example, some people invested when, for example, they bought um, JYP stock when it was at, just an example, 45, and now it's at 50. They're like, okay, I'm going to liquidate so I can take some profit. So when there are a lot of people selling, the tendency is for the price to go down. So those things can actually affect the price. That can pull the price down of the stock. Mama Roach, however, isn't helping. She's not helping, but she isn't the sole reason for the South Korean market crash. Her case, however, emphasizes the importance of confidence in investing. Everything that she's doing, creating chaos, and then this group, old shorts, unilaterally saying that the contract is now terminated. All of these things, it's not very assuring for people like us, for investors. I definitely don't want to invest in a country like that, although she didn't single-handedly do it. But her case has to be used as an example. People have to learn from what is happening here. South Korea has to make it safe for investors' money. Remember, if I'm going to put my money in your country, I better be damn sure that you're going to protect the rights of investors. Okay, there is a possible tariff that's coming South Korea's way, depending on how the incoming president is going to do it. But there might be a tariff. They have to be prepared. South Korea tariffs the United States. So any US products coming into South Korea, they're slapping tariff on that. So it's more expensive. So one option I am seeing is that that Trump is going to say, well, you're slapping tariff on my products, I'm going to slap tariffs on yours. And then they need to, the most important thing, stabilize their politics. They have to sort this out. I don't understand why that man is still not arrested for what he has done. I don't understand why the man that took his place isn't making any kind of effort to get him arrested. I mean, you tried to put your country in martial law. You need to go to jail. So now the question of a lot of people is, can BTS bring the confidence back? I know someone was asking, aren't we asking too much from BTS? Can BTS bring the confidence back? We have to remember that BTS is an artist. BTS members are artists, sorry. BTS members are artists, not economic deities. They're not God, they're not magicians. So we need to expect them to create music, contribute to the cultural growth of their country, but let's not put the pressure of actually recovering the confidence of investors for the South Korean market to recover. That is absurd. These are seven men just trying to do their best to be able to go back to what they love doing. And now they are tasked to recover the confidence of the market. I think that is ambitious. There has been no single, no, that is not true. I think it shouldn't be the job of one group, let alone a musical group, to recover the confidence of investors for an entire country. They need to fix their own shit. That is what needs to happen if they want the market to if they want investors to come back to South Korea. Important points when you're looking at stocks, because this has been publicized and people are going to, especially the haters of HYBE, they're going to use this as a weapon against HYBE and BTS. They will profess that this is the beginning of their downfall. One thing that you always need to remember: never look at a stock in isolation. Look at the market, because there's so many things that affect the stock performance of a company. Number two, often people who write about stocks on social media, they're actually amateur journalists at best. Many of these people will screen cap the same thing that I just showed you, which you can actually access in Google. Just search in Google and that will show up. And they will claim that they actually invested in in HYBE stock or whatever. Most of them don't. Most of them don't know how to play the market. And they are here talking about how the stock is relevant, how why a certain stock is performing a certain way, not a good way. Those aren't good people to trust when it comes to stock market analysis. Third, investors hate instability of any kind. Stable corruption is better than organized honesty. So I've used this example so many times. I would rather invest in a country where I at least know who I need to pay to get things done. That's fine. If I need to pay somebody to get things done, I'll pay for as long as I know who to pay and I know how much I need to pay. But put me in a country who's just disorganized, don't know what's happening, that is bad. Any kind of instability and uncertainty, not good for money. Number four, the market is naturally volatile, but it is needed. So stock market, I know I've joked about it before that it's actually a Ponzi scheme, but it's a needed scheme. And also it's a legit one. I mean, it is, there are laws and regulations that are in place to protect those that are investing. And fifth, always look under the hood. Profit reports, new technology, new investments. When a stock performs a certain way, ask yourself why. Why is it performing this way? Is there a new investment? I remember telling you guys about this company that went under during COVID. I think, was it Hertz? It was a cab company, a company, car for hire company, rent a car company. And they declared bankruptcy during COVID. And then the next day, the day after they cleared Chapter 11, their stock went up 1,000 times. Like, how how crazy is that? So for you, before you dive in, I mean, there's nothing wrong if you know the risk that you're taking, but before you invest, like, investigate why is it up 1,000% after declaring Chapter 11 or bankruptcy. So don't get easily manipulated. As one second, there is absolutely no sense in keeping up with the stocks on a daily basis unless you're actually an active trader. Juvelin Co. Miss Fairlane, thank you for holding this live. It's nice to start your year with peace and assurance. We can all agree that we are all worried for our seven Bangtan boys. Bang Luna, they do bring in new listeners all the time. The ones who leave are less than the new incoming fans. Actually, yeah, that's another thing. Um, Here. So it's aside from stocks, there is a decline in physical album sales in South Korea. So K-pop sales, it's actually declining. As you know, sales is actually the biggest strength of South of K-pop because people buy a lot of CDs. Now, in the recent times, specifically this year, groups have been releasing so many versions of an album, physical album, not just the digital album, but physical album. They've been releasing so many versions already. I think the record is like 36 versions or something like that. So it is an effort to make their fans buy. But despite all of those things, the physical album sales is still down 19% this year. So from January to November, 93.14 million copies were sold, which is a 19% decline compared to the 116 million copies sold the previous year. So almost 20%. There were also only 20 albums that reached million sales status compared to, which is 13 lower than the previous year. So 2023, there were 33 albums that became million sellers, but in 2024, only 20 albums sold more than 1 million. So there is an obvious decline in sales. Pinayonse said Stray Kids releases versions for each of their 8 members, right? The sales of old albums also is an important indicator for the market. Referring so old albums refers to albums that were released more than 6 months ago. That declined 41.7%, almost 50, like very close to half already. It is important because it is a measure on, it indicates how many new fans a group is actually getting, because the tendency is if you're a new fan, you're going to buy older albums, the albums that you missed, and even that actually declined 41.7, which means there are less people that are becoming fans of K-pop. And then probably one of the strongest indicator is the, I would say, three most successful albums in, sorry, not albums, but three of the most successful um songs released in 2024. I included one of the girls because it was released like very, very late in 2023. So one of the girls was a collaboration. Apathy was a collaboration, and Who is the only one that is not a collaboration. It is a solo song. Now, if you want to include Standing Next to You, which is Jungkook's longest charting song at 19 weeks, that's also a solo song. I did not, as I've said, I did not include that. I only included 2024. I included one of the girls because it was released like in the last week of December. So these things sort of felt like they're actually just um, they're using they're so focused on international activities and international success and recognition that they're actually not paying much attention to the local market anymore. They're not really staying true to what K-pop is, just because they're just trying to do their darnest best to get into the international market. But it is a sign that the interest in K-pop is declining because sales is a very tangible indicator. However, sales and stock market, those are two different things. Stock market is speculation. As I've said, there is this one rent-a-car company that went under. They declared bankruptcy, Chapter 11, during the pandemic, and then right the day after, their stocks went up 1000%. What's up with that, right? So those are two different things. Investors can invest in a market even if it's not performing so well, in a company even if it's not performing so well. However, it is better to actually use the sales decline as a indicator on how much the K-pop market is actually imploding. It has been unable to recover from everything that has from the departure of BTS. Basically, when BTS started going on a hiatus. The K-pop industry also started going on a hiatus. So good night, Danji. Nice. Someone Grayson said nice. Sometimes I feel like I'm a little too old when I see these damn haters hating on BTS. I can feel my face getting red, wanting to tell them off. Okay. I bought all the versions of Happy, love the stickers in it. I have all the versions as well. Bang has been stating for a few years that K-pop is on the decline, even though it looks like popularity is increasing. I don't know how people perceive its popularity to be increasing. I think the illusion is coming from, I think, because BTS as solo artists are doing so well, but that has been hampered by the fact that they are not able to promote. Like, Jungkook could have gone on a stadium tour. He wasn't able to do that because he's serving the military. Um, so and then of course there's the Blackpink members, but the unfortunate thing is that many of the successes that they're experiencing as of the moment, they haven't, they're collaborations, The Weeknd, uh Bruno Mars. Of course, those are good songs. I'm not saying they're bad songs. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with collaborating with a Western artist. Just want to put it out there. As you know, if you are a regular in the channel, you would know that Rose is actually my favorite Blackpink member. So I absolutely don't think there's anything wrong with her move to collaborate with Bruno Mars. I mean, like, who's going to say no to Bruno Mars, right? Nobody's going to say no to Bruno Mars. And I think that was a good move for her to actually, but it takes time for her to get to a level where she will not need any kind of collaboration and still perform well. It'll take time. This is her first album, give her a break. But even with that, just her first album, she still did well. But I think they are mistaking all of these things to be an equivalent or an indication of K-pop success when it isn't. These are just pop successes, like the success of Jungkook, of Jimin, of Suga, the critical success of RM, the success of Lisa and Rose, and even Jenny. These are this does not translate to K-pop. These are their own successes. So I think people think that because these people are so successful, it also means the same thing for K-pop, when in fact they are separate now. I've been saying they're separate. BTS especially, they're not K-pop anymore. They're just global artists. For me, it's about the music. The song is about as bubblegum as one can get. Which one? The music of who? BTS is not K-pop, Sunny said. Yes. Leia said, I only have one version of each album so far. Every time I think about buying a second version, BTS members bring out a new album. I can't keep up. Yeah, as you know, I live very very simply. I've mentioned this so many times, but I'll mention it again. I lived in my car for about 5 months, and that sort of trained me further. I've always lived simply. I don't have a lot of luxuries and all, but living in my car for 5 months sort of taught me a lot of things, and simplicity is one of those things. Like, it really trained me to just settle for the things that I really need and get rid of the things that I won't need. So BTS is my only luxury. And so when they come out with an album, I just buy all versions. Tried other groups, like a few, Taeyang, Shiny, and TXT. Very good, but don't make me feel the same as BTS. I don't think any group will make you feel as good as BTS. I love some of the songs of these groups. As you know, I am a Fear Not. I'm a fan of Le Seraphim. I'm also a Glit, a fan of I'll It. But my favorite girl group is still Twice. So I'm a Once. I'm also Stay because I love Stray Kids. So I love a lot of groups. So I usually use their songs as a filler in my playlist. So if you play any of my playlists, then you would know that sometimes I I put fillers in there, songs of other artists, and usually those are the songs that I like putting in. Agree, BTS is way bigger than K-pop. BTS have set the bar too high. They did. They have set the bar too high. BTS is my only thing to filler gasp. um, okay, so I don't know why. Okay, I only love BTS even though I listen to others casually. So, um, be let's I want to make the last portion of this. I'm supposed to do two other topics, but I guess I'll just do that in my next live stream. So I just want to devote this last portion of this live stream to all of you guys. I want to know, we sort of started talking about um like your goals for 2025. I want to know, Phaedra, happy new year to all of you. Extra love to my fellow Patreons. Be safe, be well, and wish you fortune in the coming year. Let's get 100K goals. Yes, for the channel, 100K subscribers. They're all, thank you, Phaedra. But is that like 100K subscribers for the channel? Yes. Oh my God. Yes, let's make that a goal. I found a really good assistant this time. I told my Patreon subscribers in the earlier live stream that I did this morning that I think I found like the right assistant for me. I've been looking for a year and I found the right one. So things will be easier for me. I will be able to finally push the publication, the magazine that I've been planning to do. I will be able to continue writing the novel because I want to publish that this year. But okay, so just want to 100K. Okay, just want to share my goals with you guys. So one of the things that, and then I'll ask for your goals and BTS related goals as well. Um, is Phaedra leaving? Are you leaving, Phaedra? So one of the things that I've sort of realized, I unplugged in the when I went to spend Christmas with my cousins, with my cousin and his family. I unplugged, so it kind of sort of um, happy stand good night. Sort of made me think about what I actually want to do, what I really wanted to do. Phaedra, good night. Good night, Phaedra. Bang Luna, good night. Thank you for joining again. So one of the things that I really sort of wanted to do was that I was able to sort of really think what I want to do for 2025. And three goals that I've set for myself is to finally finish the magazine, the online magazine that I've discussed with you guys. I wanted to create a magazine, an online magazine. At least that's how I want to start. That is to do an online magazine that would help highlight Asian entertainment and culture. But I kind of want to concentrate more on critical analysis and stuff. So that's one. The second goal is to publish the novel that I started discussing with you guys. It's just that it's progressing. It's just not progressing as fast as I wanted to. But now that I have help, I think I can let go of other things a little so that I can concentrate on those goals. And then one of the things that I want to start working on is buying a land because um, because I want to eventually be able to adopt or foster old dogs, like senior dogs, and be able to give them a dignified rest of their life. So it actually is my motivation to continue earning money. I am not rich by any means. If I retire now, I can retire and not do anything in the Philippines, but not in the US. So I'm not rich, but I want to continue earning money because I want to be able to buy a land and adopt all of those dogs and foster them, just give them a dignified rest of their life. So one thing that I realized is I that I don't I feel more comfortable um a canine nursing home, right? I feel like this is the way for me to um stay motivated, one, and second is that it makes me feel more comfortable talking about money, dealing with money, earning money, because I know that it's not something that I'm trying to earn just because I want to earn money, just because I want to earn, like, buy things that I don't need or whatever. I'm past that. I'm happy with what I have. I can go back and live in my car and I'll still be okay. So um that is the goal. um I want to what I do feel, however, is an incredible amount of freedom realizing that I can retire in the Philippines and I'll be okay. Like, that gave me a certain sense of freedom. So I'd like to be able to help others do the same. I don't know how yet, but I want to do that. Um, Fairlane, you and me both, one day when I grow up. You also want like a senior home, nursing home for canines, for senior canines. Sam, thank you, Sam. So I want to be able to help other people get to that. Like, I know that for a lot of people, money is such a, like, an iffy subject to talk about, and it can be cheap to talk about it. But what I realized is that I feel comfortable talking about it, pursuing it, because I'm not doing it for luxury or for whatever. I'm doing it because I do have a purpose to serve, and that is to, for Asian art and entertainment, to highlight that, to give opportunities to other artists, and of course for dogs. Um, so that is my realization for 2025. um what's the topic of the book that you're writing? It's a novel, it's fiction. So for those of you who don't know, when I write, so I used to write movies and I've written books before as well. When I write, I like visualizing my characters as real human beings. All this the movies that I've written before, they were actually, when I was imagining them, I was actually imagining real people. And most of the time, I name them after real people as well, because it helps me imagine the characters. Although they are not necessarily my characters, like the personalities are different. So for this one, the look that I imagined is BTS. So yeah. So in the next live, I'm actually going to install some things here, so you can see the characters, and I'll tell you about it. Um, Badges said, I'm more concerned about money as I age in the US. I know it's very expensive to retire here. When I was making my computation, I was like, oh my God, I'm probably gonna, with a very basic, like basic thing, I will probably need to set aside like about 3 million just to be able to make sure that I will be like supported until I pass away. Um, so it's very expensive. So I don't know if I'm ever going to retire in the US, because as I've said, like, for, like, if I have 1 million, I would like to be able to put some money aside for that canine nursing home. Because I really want to provide a good like last chapter of their lives. Also, I want to, like, if I can, one of the goals that I have is to be able to put up like a small school to teach art among kids. I mean, to kids. If the worst case scenario would be for me to just put more kids, like support more kids in, scholarship, basically. Ray said California is expensive, but other states are cheaper for retirement purposes. Yeah, I mean, I'm considering other states as well. Definitely, that's in the books. I'm not ruling that out right now. I can't leave California because work is here. I don't have any plans in leaving my employer until he tells me that I can leave. But yeah, running wild, they played it twice for replays during touchdown. Again, they did it again. Washington State is too expensive to retire. Yeah, I'm probably like, initially I wanted to do Boise, Idaho. That's one of the options. Fairlane, let us know when you start the old dogs, and I would like to be able to sponsor. Thank you. Yes, I will. I will. I'm still saving for that land. Um, I don't even know where it's going to be, but definitely I want it to be in a cooler place, a cooler climate because, dogs. uh, so definitely not south. Okay, please pay close attention to Jin's new OST. We don't have the date yet. I will. Love living in Boise. Are you in Boise? As a therapist, I find your goals very inspiring. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I definitely hope to do that to inspire people. But yeah, I think that is one important thing. Like, people are so iffy about talking about money. I think it's because there is this like mentality that earning money is just for yourself. Like, you're earning money, you want to earn more money and become wealthy because you just want to buy luxuries and afford luxuries and buy this purse and go to whatever. But for me, it's not that. I want to be able to earn money because I want that nursing home for for canines, for senior canines. I want to be able to support more kids. Yeah, so I don't mind, like, if somebody asks me for tips, I'm so comfortable talking about it because it's not a selfish thing, really, because I'm happy with what I have. I mean, I'm trying to like have my own garden so that I can just plant, like, produce my own food, or at least part of it. That's how simple I'm trying to live. I don't want, like, I'm trying to get to a point where I know my vegetables will come from my own garden so that I don't have to pay for it or something like that. In the place where I am right now, I can take care of a chicken. I do want to take care of a free range chicken, of course. I don't want them confined in a certain place or whatever. But I thought, like, if I have chicken, then I have eggs, so I can eat. So something like that. I'm trying to really like simplify my life, so that I can just focus on my goals: dogs, school, for art school for kids, the novel, helping other artists. So Eva said 100K subs for you this year or before June 2025. Oh, wow. Thank you. I hope so. BTS fans in India donated pet food, pet beds, blankets, etc. to the Sika for T's birthday. Oh, wow. I did not know that. There was somebody who was like, so I posted about Jimin's return to Billboard Hot 100 because I kind of want to inspire people to continue streaming for him so we can put him back in Billboard Hot 100 next week. And someone's like, you're not doing anything for Taeyong. I was like, no, I don't know anything, any project. Like, let me know if there's any project and I will support. I don't start projects because I don't have the time to do, like, I don't have the time to organize. By the way, that actually reminds me, but I will support. Like, if somebody tells me about a project for Taeyong or any other member, I am going to support that. By the way, somebody organized this thing for J-Hope to rechart his song, because he is the only member who hasn't gotten to US iTunes number one this year. So this girl actually, um, she she started that project, and then people started like getting angry at her for doing it because they said that she it coincided with the birthday of V. um but it did not, because it didn't overlap. By the way, so President Yoon's legal team announced plans to file for an injunction to the Constitutional Court to suspend the effectiveness of the warrant. So a warrant was actually issued, and now he's going to file for an injunction. Somebody sent me a link. Okay, let me see where that is, because I want just to thank her, because she organized this thing for J-Hope. She started the project, she followed through, and she achieved her goal. And now people were criticizing her um, for doing it because they said, "Oh, it's so close to the birthday of V," which I thought was unfair. Number one, we want to um, we want to celebrate the birthday of V. We just, well, a lot of people couldn't because of what happened in South Korea. So this is her. So BTS achieves historic milestone. So they became the first group for each member reached number one on US iTunes within the same year. And this is the girl that organized it. And she posted this message because she got criticized and bombarded by haters saying that why did you do that during the birthday month of V and whatever. And now she's apologizing. But anyway, I want to thank her. Her name is Nicole, got no jams. But I want to thank her. And if you can give her like positive messages and just like her or follow her, whatever, because I think that was a good thing that she did. And I'm sure that the people that were criticizing her are not real Taeyong fans. I think they're just haters. Um, but majority of the people that criticized her were claiming to be fans of V, which I don't believe. I don't. There, I think they're just haters. I think both can be done. What are the goals for Tess' birthday? I asked. So somebody told me when I posted that thing for to continue streaming for Jimin, they said like you have to do something for V. And I said I don't start projects. I just support. So if you let me know what are the projects, I'm going to support it. But then the plane thing happened, and as you know, they suspended everything. So I guess they decided they weren't going to push through with the birthday projects as well. Um, Pinayonse said, "Geez, people need to get a life." Taeyong's activities always coincide with members. um, People need to back off. He would be proud that J-Hope such has such support. No, I definitely agree. Ray Alvarez said, Sunny said, I can't deal with Korean politics right now. We have enough problems. Ray Alvarez said, yeah, I haven't seen any projects recently because they said so. South Korea declared 7 days of mourning because of the plane crash. So 179 people passed away, as you know. There were some people sending me some like gory information about how the recovery of the bodies are going. Remember, the plane exploded. It was like it explodes. So you can just imagine what they have to go through to recover the bodies. So anyway, don't want to think about it. It's very depressing. But that is the main reason they decided they weren't going to push through with any of the projects because South Korea themselves said it's going to be 7 days of mourning. And as you know, many programs, many companies actually suspended their activities. So the SBS Gayodigen or something like that said that they weren't going to push through with the live event. They are going to push through with the event. They will simply not air it live. Um, and I think many fans decided, okay, we're going to join that morning and we're not going to do any kind of activities for V's birthday. Um, I mean that I like I posted to greet V, but and as I've said, I will support who if there is a project for his birthday, but I can't support anything if there is no project that's being done for his birthday. The other countries still did celebrate V's birthday. I know, so but I don't know any. Like no one asked me for it. You know the thing that I have to praise Jungkook's fan base for and Jimin's fan base and actually even Suga's fan base is that they reach out. Like they will ask like we have an activity, can you promote? Like we have a project, can you promote? Like Jungkook, Jimin, Suga, and even Jin, actually, Jin's fan bases, they're very aggressive in promoting. But V, I haven't. I'm sorry, not rephrase. They're very in touch with me. They don't hold back in asking me specifically me because I don't know if they're getting in touch with anybody else, but they don't hesitate to ask for support. Now, I don't know, like I know fan base of V actually gets in touch with me. Um okay, horrible. That's why Tame's fans hosted a blood bank donation for Jakarta Red Cross. That is good. Like I don't know any of these things. Nobody tells me. So I don't I think the V project is to rechart Winter Ahead in iTunes. But they suspended that, right? That is what I thought they were going to do. But they suspended it because of what happened. Or did not did what did they push through? But they could have announced any project before this catastrophe. They could have, or maybe they did. I just didn't know anything about it. Like it didn't get to me. They have those tiny homes. Elon Musk has an awesome tiny home for 17K. Then all you need is land. Yes, tiny homes is actually one of my plans. Right now I can do it because my mom is the total opposite of me. Like, she loves shopping. She has a lot of stuff. So I can do it. I have to like really have a like an actual apartment, like an actual home for her where she will have like closets and all of those things. But that a tiny home with a big land is actually one of my plans. That's one of the things that I'm considering. Korean animal welfare. Okay, I saw some people K-pop stands trying this horrific and related to K-pop, and I saw someone ask, "Are Stray Kids okay?" Huh? Stray Kids. I don't think V would want anything big at this time. I'm sure he's happy with a happy birthday on Weverse. Solo stands and so many take cookers, so much hate spread. I wish I have time and I know how to organize things for armies here in Las Vegas. There are some messages there are some messages me already to do it, but I'm nervous. I will support you. If you want to organize anything, I will support you. Let me know. I can't start any kind of project because I simply do not have the time. But if somebody tells me of a project, I will be more than willing to support. They didn't suspend it. K Army suspended the hashtag project. Oh, okay. So it's just the hashtag project that they suspended. There are fan meetings in my state. What's your state, Mickey? So yeah, so that is my point. Like, if I don't know, if nobody messages me, I wouldn't know of a project because I just don't have the time to scroll. Anything that I see, those were sent to me. People were actually get in touch, like they will reach out to me and send it to me. But for me to scroll, like spend time scrolling, I don't have the time. So unless somebody messages me, I will not know. Tiny home is my plan too. I basically stay in my room most of the time. I am really looking forward to that. Of course, I when I say tiny home, it will still be like the usual. The toilet situation is kind of the thing that's getting to me. I need like a proper toilet and a proper shower, which tiny homes can have. So yeah, that is. I. It's just unfortunate set of circumstances with what happened. I'm trying to scale down everything that I have. That is that you're going to have like. I lived in my car for 5 months, and I basically had 5 pairs. Sorry, not five. 11 pairs of clothing and 11 because I wanted to be able to, I don't want to rush into a laundry like at the end of every week. So I thought like having 11 pairs would allow me to go to the laundry every 2 weeks. So that's all I had, like 11 pairs of clothing, like a shirt and pants. And then that's it basically. That's all. Then I realized like, yeah, I mean, I would just basically wear the same thing over and over again. Just like do the laundry and wear the same thing over and over again, and that was enough. I had one pair of slipper, and then one sandal, one pair of sandals, a slipper, and then 2 pairs of sneakers, and that's what I would wear. So I know that I can live very, very simply. Is K-pop imploding, or is it the pendulum just swinging back at a time before it will swing back to at least HYBE when BTS returns? Um, I think BTS carried K-pop for sure. It put a lot of attention on K-pop, and when they and sort of people had this illusion that or impression that K-pop itself is actually bigger than they were, when in fact it was BTS carrying them. And when BTS left, they took the attention with them. So things didn't turn out really good. And now that, I think this is what the normal is. And if you consider this to be normal and take out BTS out of the equation, you will actually realize it's actually pretty good. They're not doing bad. It's just that they're measuring themselves against the time when BTS was active. But if they just take out BTS out of the equation, you will see just like how far K-pop has actually gone. But as I've said, because they're measuring their success versus the success that they've had because of BTS, they're falling short. Agree there is a difference between solo fans and toxic fans. I definitely agree. I am in touch with many, many solo fans. And they're the ones that are supplying me with information and what to promote or whatever. And they're okay. I've mentioned before, for as long as somebody is not bad mouthing other members, I'm okay with you. It's natural for the members to have solo fans as they pursue their solo activities. So if you're just like, I'm a fan of J-Hope, you're good. I mean, for as long as you're not bad mouthing the other members and you're not toxic and whatever. I have a problem with toxic people. Like once you start trying to take down other members just so you can elevate your favorite, that I don't like that. I went from 3,000 square feet to 1,900 square foot home. I'm still going through withdrawals over it. Can't seem to get rid of my stuff. You will. Look for a purpose on who you will be giving those stuff to. I think that will be easier. Friends, please help Fairlane hit 100K subs. She put so much effort for us in BTS with her research, etc. Thank you so much. Yunjin, yes. You just mentioned Yunjin, and like she's going to respond. Yes, I'm going to respond to Yunjin. I am going to actually start featuring more of Le Seraphim and Twice, and Eyelid and other groups. I've mentioned to you before that I also like Meow. So I was told that it's not Mauve, it's actually Meow. That's how they pronounce it. So Meow. This is the group from Black Label. I really like them. I like Ella Gross. So I will be featuring more of them in other groups, other boy groups. And also because I have help now, I will be doing interviews in starting January. I have three lined up, three people to interview in January, and hoping that that will start the ball rolling, to get more interviews so that you guys can actually have information from people that are doing the things itself. Like for example, I'm going to interview an entertainment lawyer. So I will be posting the people that I am lined up to interview, that I'm scheduled to interview, and then their bios, so that if you have like questions to ask, let me know so I can ask them during the interview. So that's one thing that I want to do for the channel as well, to grow, to make it grow. And yeah, and hopefully I will have a proper setup very, very soon, like not really a proper studio but just a proper better setup. Yeah, and then I hope to see you guys in the tour of J-Hope that we are all manifesting. All right, do you like Wavy? I haven't. Are you interested in 17? So 17, not really. I've listened to their songs. They're not bad. I guess it's just not for me. Wavy, the same thing. I've listened to some of their songs. If I have, I think I'm just stuck with Shiny. I'm a huge fan of Shiny. Before that, I'm a huge fan of TVXQ. Right now, other than BTS, I like Stray Kids, uh, and TXT. No other boy group is actually catching my attention as of the moment. But I love a lot of girl groups. But Twice remains to be my favorite. I love Shiny, One Dream, but I have no time for toxic fans. Promote this channel to your friends and family. Thank you. TXT for me. Yeah, so those are the two that I like as of the moment: Stray Kids and TXT. Um, I mean, I wish there will be more boy groups with like a different concept or sound or whatever. It's just that with BTS, Stray Kids, and TXT, I feel like my they fill up my want for music. So yeah, I love Shiny too. I wish they are still like complete, but I love TVXQ as well. um Even their solo songs, correct? Yeah, I love them. Love them absolutely. My first favorite group was TVXQ, and then Shiny, and then BTS. Okay. Do solo members become a gateway to BTS for some? Yeah, true. That is true. I am on the other side. Not many girl groups. I like mostly the boy groups. I think I like what they sing about more. Um, Les Seraphim and Twice have really good music, like in terms of subject and messages. I'll It, I love their lore. To be honest about it, I'll It is more my, like, my jam because of their lore. But I'm waiting for them to sort of thicken their portfolio. So I'm sure that once they build up their portfolio, I'll be a bigger fan. 10 Ministering, yes. I'm stuck with BTS as well. Okay, I do like Le Seraphim. Bangtan is always number one, though, for sure. That's not gonna change, I don't think. Chris Dell says, Sam L said, I used to like Shiny. What happened? Why do you not like them anymore? Chris Dell said, and Hype and TXT 80s, Stray Kids in that order. Oh, yes, I think I started with recognizing RM and Jimin and then slowly began to love all of the members as I watched. Ho once said, I only watch Le Seraphim performances, but I'm not into the music. V Hart said it's hard for me to trust solo fans because I don't know they've talked bad about other members. I go through their timeline and their other social media, and then it's pretty, like, you'll see if you go through their timeline. I used to like EXO back in 2014. No more sad story with EXO anyway. I love some of their songs. Um, I actually love Coco Bop. It's in one of my playlists. Okay, we're past 2 hours. My God. This is going to be my last live for the year, so I just want to thank everybody again for being with me, for joining me in this journey. I really love the exchange of ideas. If you have any requests for any topic, let me know. But and I will try my best to cover them. I really wish everybody a happy new year. I hope that 2024 brought you wisdom, and I hope in 2025 you're going to experience peace and you're going to have your heart's desire. So happy new year to everybody. I will be praying for everybody so that your 2025 is going to be the best year you'll ever have. Or yet. Yet. I want every year to be better than the previous one. Um, Fairy Lane, the Filipino show Finding Phoenix. Have you? No, I have not seen it. What is it? I will check it out. Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you so much. Please get in touch with me anytime that you want. Twitter or X or Patreon. Please be a member. I do have a free tier, so please go check it out. So yes, the best is yet to come for everybody. Happy New Year. I love you all. I appreciate you. Sending good vibes and blessings to everybody. Bye. Happy New Year. Bye.